25 point guards, the hardest position to rank. If you don't have a top 25 point guard, you are not a contender in this league.
Yeah, I mean the point guard position, it sucked for a lot of players because was a few times where we talked about some players who missed it, but this list definitely had the most amount of really good players who missed it. Ranking it, I mean, 1 through I felt like 40 was just the largest challenge. Even you get through a couple, and then you just don't know where to go. I think myself, I got to 7 or 8, and then I actually had to start ranking backwards, like down up just because that position in between was so hard for me that I needed to kind of knock off some of the bottom guys before I could even figure out that middle of the pack. It was super
I
tough.
couldn't even get that top 7 figured out. I got the top 2 figured out, and then it was a blur. So, no, it's definitely very difficult. But a lot of good players at the point guard. Makes sense. You need a leader on your team. The point guard is usually the leader.
Definitely. But we'll go right into it. We're going to start at 25. Who do we have at the
Okay.
first spot there today?
At number 25, we have someone who, well, I guess he hasn't really had a chance to show he's a leader because his team's not that good. Coby White, he's a good up and coming player. I'm actually surprised to see him make the list. To be honest, we had a lot of good players that didn't make this list, but I guess he'll have a. You're looking for a breakout year.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy who, when we look at some of the other guys later in the list who maybe just missed out, some of it maybe comes down to things like playing time and the fact they are getting older versus Kobe White, clearly, like you said, a guy who I expect to be on the rise, definitely. He is the main point guard in Chicago. Obviously, Zach LaVine handles the ball sometimes as well, but he does start in the shooting guard position. Kobe White is going to get the starting minutes. We saw him get them post All Star last year, and he really did shine. I mean, in 10 games played post All Star break, he had almost 25 points per game, and he was doing good in the other areas of the game as well too. So obviously, it was a guy similar to Colin Sexton we spoke about, who the latter half of the year he did what the team drafted him to do. That's obviously to put the ball in the net and obviously make the guys around him better. So if he could do it for the whole year, I know it's going to be a top 25 justified spot. Will he put up 25 games for the whole year? Absolutely not. But could he go 16 or 15 for 4 assists, 5 assists, and he's a decent rebounder too? Absolutely. And will that Chicago team be better because of it? I think so too. I think they'll be pretty good with him as a starter, actually. He could even be a potential most improved candidate.
To me, it all depends. Like he wasn't even a starter on his team last year. He only started 1 game. To me, it all depends if Chicago wins. They have to win with him at the helm. To me, that team, looking at all the improvements around the NBA compared to all the lower ranked teams that we had last year, I don't see Chicago. I didn't see Chicago make any big moves. I guess they're kind of hoping for Otto Porter Jr. to come back, be healthy, and that team to click, get 1 year older. But I just don't see them being a contender for a playoff spot. And without that happening, that's why he wasn't in my top 25 personally. I'm a little bit lower. I didn't have him in my top 30 to be honest. But you're right, he does have the potential. To me, he kind of looks in the mold of like a Malcolm Brogdon, Eric Bledsoe, kind of that player. Where on a winning team is really really important, and you need it as your second or third star. But you're right. I could be completely wrong, and he could be a most improved candidate. He could jump up 20 points per game. But until he does that, I think we have such a deep pool of players at this position that unless he gets up to the 20, he's not going to crack the top 20.
Yeah, I mean, top 20 definitely depends because it is so deep. We're going to see a lot of good guys who are a lot better than Kobe White at this part in his career, who even are just right above him in just a
Yeah.
couple of spots. Like I said, I expect maybe like a 16 kind of year, 16-4, 16-5 for Kobe White, and I think that'll be enough to justify the ranking. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs this year, but I think they'll be a bit better. And to say, like, they definitely have a shot. They do have a talented starting five there. They obviously have a good rookie off the bench too, in Patrick Robinson. But anytime I think a rookie could come in, they put up just over 13 per game. They do shine, like I said, in 36 minutes per game after the All Star break. It shows a lot of promise. So I think in a sophomore year he will take a nice jump. Could be wrong, like you said, might have a sophomore slump. But either way, I think for the long term, he is going to be their starting point guard. So even if it's not this year, I think we'll see him in the top 25, definitely for years to come as well.
And I hope so for that team because I just hope that they can get out of that hole that they kind of have played themselves in for the last couple years, ever since Derrick Rose's prime. Moving on from Coby White there, we actually, if we move forward a position or a ranking,